It turns out there was no real organic support for leftist media, and it was all federally funded. Make jobs program for left-wing extremists. Did I get that right? Yeah, that's what's going on here. So go to bigmancomics.com for the best in action adventure entertainment. This is an insane. I need to put this up here. Sorry. This is an insane scandal to me. So as you guys know, Donald Trump campaigned on having Elon Musk, investigate the efficiency of the government, the DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency. He goes in there, he looks at what our money's being spent on, and they cut employees, programs, everything. And they went into this foundation called USAID. And there's a law signed by President Kennedy in the 60s allowing the United States to get involved in helping foreign causes, basically. But the USAID was an executive order. So hopefully Trump just undoes it with an executive order because it's not a law, the USAID thing. And what the USAID is the worst thing in the world. This is the skeleton key, someone said on Twitter, for all the leftist, globalist, communist shit that is going on everywhere. She thought, oh, they're giving rice and beans to starving children in, Ethiopia or whatever. And I've always just assumed, like you, that foreign aid is like, okay, we give 10 million to this country, the corrupt leaders and politicians over there, they keep 8 million, and then they give a few sacks of rice to the starving people there. Rinse, repeat, it's a waste of our tax money. It doesn't help anything because the causes of the problems are never addressed. But hey, we're helping a little bit, and we can't run those countries for them. That is not at all what is going on. It is so much worse what has been going on. So Elon Musk people have been, his insanely talented engineers have been, parsing through, bajillions and jillions of data points, finding out, what does USAID give money to? Who works here? Who are they giving money to? How does this work? How long have they been doing this? And what they have found is an endless slush fund for every horrible thing you can think of, and just endless grift where people are paying for things that never get done or they're done poorly, and they're putting people on payrolls. And you'll see, you're going to be so angry, you're going to say you want all of your tax money back plus interest. And I agree. We should all get refunds. We'd be living in the year 3000. Technology and abundance and ease of life for all Americans if our money had been going for things that were good for us instead of just being stolen by these communist pieces of shit. Now watch this. It turns out there was no real organic support for leftist media, and it was all federally funded. Make jobs program for left-wing extremists. Did I get that right? Yeah, that's what's going on here. So this is why Dragon Age fails. This is why Disney Plus and all this stuff fails. There's no real support for it. And what they do, the government, which I believe is illegal. I'm not an attorney, so I'm alleging that this is illegal. I don't know. What they do, this is insanity to me. They're paying news organizations, Politico, Reuters. Reuters is one of the biggest news services in the world. The Associated Press, the New York Post, or the New York Times, one of them. If you go look in the USAID database, they're getting millions and millions, hundreds of millions of dollars sometimes, and then pushing the globalist message, pushing Biden's message, pushing the lockdown message, pushing all the mainstream globalist, we fucking hate you peasants message being pushed by the news, which is supposed to be independent, which is supposed to be a check and a balance on the government. That's what the news is supposed to be, is to go after the government, to go after the powerful, to exploit the poor, the middle class, the underclass, and all that. But no, it's completely captured and funded. And it started last night for me when I saw this. Oh, Politico got, $500,000 for 37 people to get subscriptions to Politico. Politico's an online political magazine that seems to just parrot left-wing talking points. Like, oh, they got $500,000. Turns out they got like $34 million recently for all the stuff they do. Oh, and so it's insane that a government agency is paying them tons of money. And it all cracked last night when they sent out an email to all staff, I'm going to get a sip of water, that they couldn't make payroll this week at Politico. That's what I saw last night. And then it comes out today that they're getting zillions from this government agency. Your tax money, my tax money. And your money is literally your life. You trade the hours of your life for money, for the betterment of yourself and your family. But it's your life. Those days are gone. That day you worked 14 hours, that one day of your life is gone forever, spent to get money. And these sons of bitches take it. And they go do things, a transgender comic, $32,000 for a transgender comic in Peru. Millions of dollars to promote atheism in Nepal. There's a great tweet, and I have it up here. I'll show it to you guys. It's just endless grift and money. And they don't even send the money to what they're really sending it to. What I think, allegedly, is they go, hey, we need to do XYZ in this third world nation. So here's $10 million. Oh, you need to do XYZ? I know how to do XYZ. Give me the 10 million and I'll do it. So the one person's giving out the money, the other one's getting it. Then the one getting the money is keeping it for themselves, buying sports cars, buying vacation homes, and then donating money back to the Democrats and the Uniparty Republicans and the globalists and all these foundations. It's a giant octopus of evil, just with tentacles everywhere. Look at this. The Associated Press, here are payments they're getting from USAID. And Elon has shut this USAID thing down with Trump and with Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, who's the acting director of USAID. And it's so hysterical to see the Democrats and all screaming, oh, you can't set this down. You're stealing Social Security. People aren't going to get their food. And they're caught. And they were at the building's entrance more than once trying to get in, and security screaming. I mean, if I wrote that in a movie, they would tell me that was too unrealistic. Oh, the politicians wouldn't be at the door of the USAID offices. I mean, they'd have the right to go in. They wouldn't have to argue with. And they're literally like, well, I left my wife's coffee mug at my desk. I really just need to go into my desk to see something. They're like, they're caught embezzling hundreds of billions, trillions of dollars over the decades. Just think what we could have done. Just think how our country is $36 trillion in debt. It's disgusting. The federal government has paid over $16 million to Reuters over the past 2 fiscal years alone. Reuters, a newswire service. So the way I've worked at a few newspapers quickly, Knight Ridder and Reuters are like 2 of the biggest ones, and Associated Press and things like that. And they write tons of news articles. There's comic strips, there's weather, there's everything news you need. And then let's say you're a small town American newspaper, you pay Reuters a monthly service or yearly or whatever, and you can use their stories to fill out your newspaper. That's what these newswire services are. They're just, they amalgamate a ton of news and then they sell it to different news channels, newspapers, news websites. So you subscribe to the news if you're the news to get news. That's news to me. Mike Benz, I've been telling you guys, this guy's been talking about this for years, by the way. I've been telling you guys forever that you've been living your whole life in a carefully constructed USAID Truman Show where none of the institutions you meet, from the media to public health to universities to NGOs to terrorists, are the institutions you think they are. Yeah, we'll get to terrorists being funded by USAID. Is that a possibility? But everything is constructed and paid for. Your own destruction and misery is being paid for with your tax dollars. And Trump's putting a stop to it. We are going through the second American Revolution right now, and it's glorious to see. Oksana Romanuk, she's the director of the Institute of, I believe, Mass Communications. It's something over in Ukraine. She said 90% of the Ukrainian media survive thanks to grants. We are paying the BBC, the British Broadcasting Corporation, or whatever the C stands for, like millions per year. And then they're running anti-Trump and anti-Elon propaganda. We're paying so many countries to vilify like leaders in Europe who are not woke globalists like Viktor Orban, and then the news media over there is attacking him, and then we find out the USAID is paying those news media orgs. This is horrible. This is a violation of the First Amendment when you do it domestically, because the First Amendment is free speech. If there's an argument and there's idea A and there's idea B, and the government pays for idea B, and then we cancel everyone who disagrees, that's stifling idea A. That is a violation of free speech, because compelled speech is just as bad as restricting speech. So this is illegal, in my opinion, allegedly. Here's this tweet. I'm going to just read some of these. Rapid Response 47. This is a Republican Twitter account that just defends Trump and Republicans. $7.9 million to teach Sri Lankan journalists how to avoid binary gender language. $20 million for a new Sesame Street show in Iraq. $4.5 million to combat disinformation in Kazakhstan. What do you want to bet the disinformation is anti-globalist things? $1.5 million for art inclusion for people with disabilities. $2 million for sex changes and LGBT activism in Guatemala. $6 million for transform digital spaces to reflect feminist democratic principles. You see, all of this is that satanic, feminist, left-wing Marxist bullshit. They've captured our institutions, and it's amazing. You better thank God that he had mercy on us. And that guy missed Trump and clipped his ear. Because right now, who knows who Kamala would have appointed and what they would be doing. But it would be the end of not only America, it would be the end of Western civilization. It would end. What would happen to the entire West is what you've read about happened to the countries that got overrun by communism. That is exactly what would happen, in my opinion. Hundreds and hundreds of millions would die. and everyone else would just basically be poor, and the elites, the upper crust, your betters, they would be eating caviar and living in palatial estates off of your back. And it's what they're trying to do. Advancing LGBT, solve sectarian violence just 10 days before the Hamas attack, so I guess that money didn't work. 1.5 million to rebuild the Cuban media ecosystem, 6.3 million for men to have sex with men in South Africa. I don't feel like you have to pay gay dudes to bone each other. I feel like they're pretty enthusiastic about it. Have you been to a pride parade? Let's see this here. So that guy tweeted everything. Just go to Twitter. The news can't keep up. The print media can't keep up. The regular media, news channels can't keep up. It's all happening on Twitter in real time. And Elon's retweeting so much of it. For decades, USAID bureaucrats believe they were accountable to no one, but that era is over. President Trump is stopping the waste, fraud, and abuse. And I think he's a congressman or a senator from New Orleans, from down in Louisiana, Senator Kennedy or Congressman Kennedy, and he said, and he's on our side if you're anti-woke, conservative, Republican, American, if you're an American. And he said, people in Washington, D.C. would unplug your life support to charge their cell phone. That's how they look at you, like fucking ants, like tax-paying cattle. Let's see. There was a transfer comic book, said Mast. We're trying to get our hands on the actual comic book in Peru, and I heard it's reasonably risky. Yeah, I have a researcher that I have tasked with finding this comic book for me, because I can't wait to see it, and I'm going to show it to you guys. I know it's going to be just shit, like horrible art and writing. It'll probably be explicit, so I'll have to blur things out, but I'm going to find it. I'm going to find this thing. I'm going to find a digital version of it, and we're going to expose it. President Trump's press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, she just exposed USAID by laying out exactly what taxpayer money is being wasted on. Benny Johnson tweets, $2.5 million for DEI in Serbia, $70,000 for Onan Irish DEI musical, $47,000 on transgender operas in Colombia. Oh, $32,000 on trans comic book. And it goes on, thousands and thousands and thousands of these grifts and ripoffs. And it's great that Elon Musk has some of the greatest engineers in the world who are writing the code to parse this data. Elizabeth Warren's screaming about bird flu outbreaks and egg prices. And shut up, just shut up. USAID funding corporate media is the biggest scandal of 2025. In essence, the Biden administration was paying the media through USAID to attack the likes of Rumble and X, advocate for censorship, and install their own government in the USA by attacking the opposition party. Here's the one I love, and I think we can end it on this. Viva Frey, this was confirmed. I saw the image, you're like, is that Photoshop? Is that AI? But here are some Al-Qaeda jihadis, I believe, doing one of their terror videos where they're talking about who knows what they're going to do. And if you look real close, look whose tent this is. USAID. How much you want to bet that's one of our RPGs, rocket power grenade, on that guy's shoulder? How much you want to bet? How much you want to bet that there's so much disorganization and grift and incompetence going on that these guys get a hold of stuff that was ours? You are funding your own destruction, and Trump and Elon are putting it to a stop. The Second American Revolution has started, and the left people have broken necks from the whiplash because masculinity returned to the culture in an afternoon. And they've never seen masculinity. Daddy's never come home and given everyone a spanking, and he has now. It's glorious. Guys, go to bigmancomics.com. Get Dean Cain, All-American Lawman Volume 1, because it is the most awesome comic book you're going to read. It's an action, adventure, it's thrilling, it's the most fun, and it's ultra high-T masculine. Okay, guys, I am Big Man Comics on X. I am Gabe Eltaeb everywhere else, and I will talk to you guys. Where's the stop button? I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you for watching. Make sure to follow us on social media and go to bigmancomics.com.